yeah, word. Wanna hear it, wanna talk about it. Word. Wanna hear it, wanna talk about it. Know it's all about the word. You know it's word. Yo, welcome back to the Word Podcast. It's episode number 2 here, and I'm your boy G-Stylez. And I'm in the studio with Andrew McCallister, who's the music director of KRZA Radio and also the host of Today's History, which is on KRZA. Welcome to the show, man.
Thanks for having me.
First of all, I guess we can kind of talk about music, because that's pretty much what your life is all the time, is music, right?
Yeah, I go through a lot of music, but the amount of music that I have to go through at KRZA is like overwhelming, and I pretty much am able to only skim most of it, you know? And so I feel like I get like blasted with like a little bit of absolutely everything. So, I mean, I hear a tiny bit of Americana, singer-songwriter, world, everything, but it's hard to focus when you have so many, you know, new artists and so much new music. Before I had this job, I never really listened to, like, jazz, so I didn't really know anything about jazz. Now that's, like, my favorite show to host.
Yeah, I was kind of the same way when I used to do the music director position, is a lot of, you know, jazz shows, and I never even thought about listening to jazz before all that, but it was kind of a, you know, something that kind of throws you into there. You know,
yeah,
it kind of breaks you out of your shell.
I mean, I wasn't one of those people who said I hated jazz, but I never went out of my way, and I didn't know any of the artists or whatever. And I mean, still, it's like a whole other world of, you know, just all the artists, all the history, all the stuff to learn, and like I feel like I'm just barely scratching the surface. But the way I do my jazz shows is I just only play new music, and I feel like that is a cool way to do it, because a lot of artists, you know, are doing covers, or they're doing like a lot of people re-release old stuff, and so I feel like even in a show that only plays new music, you get a pretty wide variety of everything.
What's your favorite genre of music then right now?
Probably the world music, because that's kind of like a fake genre in the first place. Like, it's so wide that because almost every country in the whole world has artists that like specialize in most of the normal genres you can think of. Like, there's hip hop artists from every single country. There's folk music from every single country. There's rock music in every single country now. If you just say world music, that includes all of that stuff. So it doesn't matter
if it's from Africa or different country.
Well, I mean, that's the cool thing about it. It's from everywhere, but all these styles are like coming together now and kind of like blending in different ways. So like you can find like electronica from Norway, and they're collaborating with like Nigerian hip hop artists, and like you know, there's just all kinds of cool stuff out there. So I think world, just because it's like everything, is my favorite right now.
So the other reason I brought you on the podcast was because you were a pilot at one point in time, right? Or at least started learning about it?
Technically, I still am. I still have my license. I don't have my medical certificate right now. So it's like truck driving. You can't drive without a medical, commercially. But yeah, I started flying when I was like 16, I think, or maybe even 15, and then got my license when I was about 20 or so. Or no, maybe I was 18 when I got my private pilot's license, and then I got all of my other licenses after college, and then instructed for 2 years in Wisconsin and in Maryland. And then I spent a short time in the Mariana Islands flying mostly tourists between some of the islands way out there in near Guam. It's kind of the same island chain as Guam. That was really cool. I wish I had spent more time there, but just things worked out. I had to come back. Bada boom, bada bing, and I was working at KRZA.
That's a trip. So what made you get into flying in the first place? You just liked planes, wanted to try it out, or did you know somebody who had a plane or something?
Yeah, it's in my family. My dad's a pilot, my uncle's a pilot, and then their dad's a pilot. His brothers were pilots, and so it goes back at least 2 generations in my family. And even on my mom's side, although I never knew him, my mom's grandfather, one of them, he owned an airport in New Hampshire, and he was a pilot too. So there's history of aviation in my family. But my grandpa really made it possible because he owned a small airplane, and he was also a flight instructor. So he got us, or me, started in his plane, and
It's kind of like driving in the backyard, like
yeah, exactly.
when you're learning how to drive, but in a plane.
Yeah. Well, yeah. How did you how did you learn to drive?
Well, where I lived at growing up, we were in a place called San Acacio, and it's pretty rural out there. There's not really people live like a mile away from each other.
At least.
And then, yeah, exactly. And there's a bunch of back roads out there, dirt roads and stuff that nobody drives around or anything. So you can drive around back there all day, and if you make a mistake, pretty much you only hurt yourself out there.
Yeah, exactly.
And so that's how I learned. I remember I would actually steal the keys to my grandparents' cars and trucks, and I would take off when they would be out. They would go out to go have lunch or do whatever they were doing, and they'd leave me home or me and my cousin home, and we'd take the car keys and take off. And, we wouldn't be doing anything too crazy, just driving real slow down the road.
Yeah.
But I remember one time we were coming back, and they were coming back at the same time when we met each other, and I was like, just keep going, man. Just keep going.
Just keep going. Drive.
We'll deal with it when we get back in a couple hours.
Oh,
but yeah, it's fun to learn to drive when you're young like that.
Yeah.
All
I
kinds
think
of different stuff.
That's one of the coolest things about the area we grew up in, is that it's really rural, and so you can get away with driving like that and learning to drive when you're really young. And we had go-karts when we were young, so we would just tear up and down our road. It was a little dirt road, just over and over and over again all day long, driving those little go-karts. And I think, honestly, that made us better drivers in the long run,
Oh, yeah, the more experience you have, the better.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's different living in the city and then living in the country and learning how to drive, because when you learn how to drive in the city, you're learning how to drive already, like you either swim or you drown out there.
Yeah.
There's so much going on, so many different people around. You have to pay attention to everything that's going on around. When you're in the country, driving around, you don't really have to worry about much except for yourself.
Yeah, you can take your time, kind of learn, get more comfortable.
That's
That's
how
how I was.
fast-paced, yeah.
Yeah, it took me a while to get comfortable when I was learning as a teenager to drive. 'Cause, my dad made me learn in a stick shift.
Oh, yeah. Me too.
But it took me a while to get comfortable with it. But once I was, then I don't know. I had all that experience. I feel like that helped. I didn't have to just jump into driving in the city and oh my God, dude. Even just recently, forget about learning to drive. I went to Denver a couple months ago, and it was crazy. It
a whole new learning experience.
It was insane. I mean, I used to live in Boston. I've lived outside D.C., and D.C. is known for its traffic. Boston's known for its asshole drivers, and dude, it was nothing compared to Denver 2022. Oh my God, that place was nuts, dude. I can't believe there aren't more crashes. I saw a couple of crashes while I was there, and
so then you also do this other show. I guess you can call it a show or a segment on KRZA. It's called Today's History, where you basically tell us all the things that happened in today's history. So what happened in today's history?
Oh, God.
Do you know off the top of that?
I don't remember.
That's cool. We don't have to talk about that. But what made you decide to start doing that show in the first place?
I love history. It's always been something I enjoyed, reading about, learning about. And after we lost or stopped carrying Jim Hightower, because that was another show that was less than 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. I mean, it wasn't a history show, but it was political opinion, I guess.
It was kind of like commentary, I guess you can call it.
Yeah, he talked about history sometimes. But anyway, I just felt like that was the perfect thing to do, a little short daily history thing. And I did a little research, and it didn't seem like there were very many people doing that. And I didn't see any other radio stations doing that.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
There's that one guy who does the labor history, and I don't know, there's a few small shows, but so I figured, why not just make our own? And it was a lot harder than I thought it would be at first, but it takes a while to research and write one and stuff, and then record and edit. And in the beginning, I got to get back into this, but I was adding even like sound effects and like, if it was a battle, there'd be like battle sounds in the background and stuff. I kind of like that. So I think I'm going to try and get back into that. But that was just like eating up too much time on the editing side. So I kind of skipped that. And now it's a little more informational. And I've tightened it up quite a bit. I try not to ramble. But like in the beginning, I would do like 3 or 4 people's birthdays on that day, and now I just do one because
it takes a lot of space.
Yeah, you can't explain everything about. I mean, it's like less than 5 minutes, so you can't say that much about anything, anyways. But lately, I've been using that new ChatGPT, the AI, to help write scripts, and it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, when you showed it to me, I was like,
holy shnikes.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like it's like a dumbed down version of like probably what those tech companies actually have. Like, I'm pretty sure that the AI that they have is way better than the one that they released to us for free.
Yeah, exactly.
But the one that's out now is like, I mean, it's gonna make like certain journalism jobs totally obsolete. Like people who write fluff articles for magazines and websites, just gone. The computer can do it. Honestly, even like a large segment of like books. I mean, it could write TV shows. Like this thing could, it could change a lot of stuff in the coming years. But for me, it's really handy because it saves me a lot of time on writing scripts. The thing I've discovered, though, is that it's very, and this is why I think it might be kind of kneecapped by the publishers, because it like frequently just puts out like made up facts, like stuff that's not true.
It's just grabbing wherever sources it can, I guess. I'm assuming, huh?
Yeah, it's been trained on, I don't know, the internet, but it's not connected to the internet, and
yeah, I mean, you would have to distinguish quite a bit to know whether something's fake or real, and it's just grabbing what it can and giving you information.
But the frustrating thing is that, like, you'll ask it to write a little essay about, some earthquake in China, and it just nails it. It gets the whole thing right. And then you ask it to write an essay about, or a biography of,
Napoleon,
a governor of Massachusetts, for an example. That's like Monday's history. It just makes up all kinds of stuff. Like, this guy was alive, like, within the last 150 years. So, like, we know all this stuff. It's written down. It's recorded. Like, this thing should have been trained on all this stuff. But it didn't know what political party this guy was from. It didn't know what years he served at what job, which is easy. Like, a Google search and all that stuff is easily readable and verifiable. So, I mean, it's easy to correct it once you know that something's wrong. But the fact that it just throws in like random stuff, I think it does that so that they can't use it. Like in college, kids can't use it to cheat to write their essays.
That's what I thought right away, too. When you showed it to me, I was like, wow, this is like a game changer. I don't know how they're going to tell the difference. Yeah. Well, I guess if you're giving a bunch of not true facts and stuff like that, you're kind of pulling up out of nowhere.
That's what I'm saying. I think they may have done that on purpose because...
So they can catch them?
Yeah, so they can catch it. But anyway, so that saves me some time on the script writing end. As far as like what I pick for history... I was in contact with this professor in England, or the United Kingdom, who wrote a couple books that are like what happened on this day in history. His name is Scott Alsop.
Hello, MrAlsopHistory.com.
And he's a professor. And anyway, so I got in contact with him, and he also does a YouTube show that he puts out. A lot of the time I'll either read from his... books or use his YouTube audio, as the main part of the history show, which, isn't as like original as I'd like it to be, but his histories are, well researched, they're well written, and I know they're accurate, and they cover like exactly the kind of like wide range of historical events that I want to cover, everything from like Like there was a molasses spill in Boston in like the 1800s that sent a wave of like 15 feet high of molasses through the city streets and killed a bunch of people.
Wow.
And, everything from that to like, battles and wars and, I don't know, assassinations and all kinds of stuff. Like I've been everything from like the CIA taking down the Secretary General of the UN with a plane crash in Africa in the 60s to, a bunch. One of my favorite things to cover is Roman history, because that's just one thing that really interests me.
Well, me and you were both we've both been hardcore gamers, I should say. It's hard when you have kids and stuff to sit down and play. Well, now that my kids are getting a little older, I can actually sit down and play games with him.
Yeah, that's cool.
And,
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, and say your little guy is still what, like not even? Oh, he's just one. He is just one, huh?
Yeah.
So yeah, you got a long way to go still.
I think I played a little bit of like Tropico in front of him.
I will make Tropico even greater, even bigger, and even better.
And he kind of looks at it, and I think he was dancing to the music. That game has really good music.
What is that game? Tropico?
Yeah, it's like SimCity, but you're instead of just being like city god or whatever, you're a dictator. You're like straight up a dictator.
Like a first-person shooter or a game?
No. You have control of your little dictator guy, but it's just like a more detailed SimCity where you like make decrees, like you decide whether your citizens can vote or not, or you decide like, oh, I want to put this guy in the secret prison because he's one of my political enemies or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
It's like it gets pretty detailed, but it's kind of fun to just play in sandbox mode. So that's normally what I do, especially since I can't always like commit to playing a certain amount of time. Yeah, and I'm not very good at that game, but it's fun. It's fun. There's all kinds of stuff. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like to me it's like it's the best like modern SimCity, because honestly, there's not really many games that have topped SimCity, like the first one.
Yeah. Since
SimCity, like it was kind of the best, or I mean maybe some of the later versions of SimCity, but like they kind of hit on the best version of that like right off the bat. So.
Oh yeah.
Because I tried playing that other city builder, Cityscapes or something, and it's not very fun.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that some of them get really technical.
Yeah.
And then you're just like more frustrated than you are having fun, and that's not the kind of games people really get into,
Yeah, Tropico hits that right balance of like it's technical enough to be interesting, but it's not so technical that it's not fun anymore.
Yeah, like that's why I usually get into is like GTA or like I was into Fortnite there for a while, but
yeah.
I kind of lost interest in that. I've actually been playing more like kid games lately with my kids and stuff. Like Fall Guys is the one that I've been playing a lot lately.
That one's fun.
It's actually really fun. It's not like it's more for kids, but
yeah,
it's like one of those games you can kind of throw on and just jack around and have fun with it. And if you lose, you lose, whatever. It's not a big deal, And it's kind of cool because they kind of laid it out similar to Fortnite, like all the menu and everything.
Yeah.
So you could like earn like skins and all these different things to upgrade your character and all that. And then I've been playing Gang Beasts.
Is that like a fighting one, or?
Yeah, it's like a fighting game, but you're like these like claymation like characters, but they don't like move normal. They're kind of like wobbly, and they you only have so many moves. You could throw a right hand punch or a left hand punch, or you can grab or you can headbutt.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all you can do. But the whole object of the game is to get knock people off of whatever you're playing on. There's like buildings or whatever. I don't know. We have a ton of fun with it because you could play 4 players at a time on it, or you could even like team up. Like do waves is what they call it, and they have just waves of like bad robots, guys, coming at you, and you have to take all of them out. And they have like different, like the little guys and big guys that come at you and stuff. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I like
play
games
that.
like that though, like stuff that you could just have fun with and not over stress too much.
Yeah.
Grand Theft Auto is another one. I do Grand Theft Auto Online a lot
Yeah.
and just go jack around, shoot up places. I like on the Grand Theft Auto Online actually when they do people kind of team up on there. They kind of get in the same server.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I was in one time where they took over a whole block in the city. And everybody that came through that block, they would just take out. Yeah, they had like a person on every corner of that block or whatever. So they took over that whole block for like a whole hour. I remember we were playing. Nobody could get through there, and they were getting pissed. People that were playing online just trying to pass through there, and we would kill them, and they'd have to start all over again. And
Man, when I had a lot of free time, that game was awesome. But now I lost my original save, and now I'm trying to catch up. And I hate that game now because I'm like,
yeah,
the missions are all like 20 minutes or more,
They are.
like, or
then
an
if you
hour
lose,
or something. And if you lose, you have to go way back, and
you don't get shit out
I
of the
just
deal.
have no time for that. Like, I can put maybe 10 minutes, and then I got to go do something, and then I could do another 10 minutes, and then like maybe I can sit down for an hour sometimes in the evenings. I don't know. The last thing I want to do is grind through a GTA mission that I've already done. Like, I didn't have that much fun the first time I had to do this.
That's
like,
it too. Is it's the same missions more or less over and over again, and
Yeah.
you learn how to beat them, and you kind of just you're just stacking up money pretty much to buy other stuff, and that's where it gets a little boring. Games like that is after a while you've bought everything, it just gets monotonous. You're just kind of
That's the thing I liked about how they were doing Fortnite. How they were always like
switching up themes and
changing
different things.
Yeah, upgrading it. I like that.
Oh, another game I've actually been playing online lately, I just downloaded it, is Destroy All Humans. Have you played that one yet?
Dude, I have at least the second one on Xbox 360, and I've never played it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's pretty fun. Well, they have the one that's the online version now, and so you co-op with people, and you go and destroy cities and different stuff. It's pretty cool.
Take cows up too.
Yeah.
Right into your UFO.
I'm still kind of getting into it, so I'm learning all this different stuff from it. But it seems like that's all it is these days. All games are all just online. You don't do discs anymore or anything like that. I still play retro games. I'm still playing Sega Genesis games, and I'm still playing, SNES games and whatever I can get my hand on. I've actually been buying a lot on eBay lately. I bought a Pit Fighter.
Oh, nice.
For Sega the other day, and that one's like one of the first. It was actually before Mortal Kombat.
Get over here!
Yeah.
But it's the same people. It's Midway.
Yeah. That's
and
a good
so
game.
yeah, that's a pretty good game. And I just actually found out there's a Super Nintendo game. It might be on Sega too, but it's called WWF Super, I think it is.
Huh.
Or something like that. And it's Midway too. So you're like all these older characters, like Ultimate Warrior and Hulk Hogan.
Brother.
Cool.
But you like jack each other up like like Mortal Kombat kind
man,
of.
that sounds awesome.
It looks really cool, so I'm gonna rent that. I'm gonna buy that one.
Yeah.
Rent it. You can't even rent games these days. I remember those days though.
It's crazy how games aren't even about graphics anymore. They're about like just
Exactly.
like gameplay and stuff.
Yeah, because look at the Fall Guys. They're basically like pills, is what they are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They look like little pill.
It's not
characters.
like super detailed or
yeah,
like
exactly.
complicated. Or
Same with the Gang Beasts. You're just like little claymation characters, kind of.
Yeah, you think that AI, or I mean not AI, Meta, the VR, do you think that's going to take off? I don't think it's going to go.
Well, my son's just got an Oculus, and my younger son is really, really into it. But my older son doesn't really care for it too much. He's kind of like, he gets bored with it real fast.
Yeah, I feel like most people put it on for like 20 minutes, and they're like, wow, that's cool. And then they never pick it up ever again.
There's only so much you could do on those games that they have right now. I think they still need to get more into the technology of it all, so they could do better games for it. Because right now a lot of the games are kind of weird. Like one of the games my kids have is, I can't even remember the name of it, but you're basically just a gorilla, and you just like
go do gorilla
gorilla stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah, I heard something recently that there was like some, I don't know if it was a game developer or someone who worked for Meta, and they quit because they said it's impossible. We can't. This technology
It's too
does
hard.
not go with good games. You can't make a good game with this. Like, with
Probably
what
might
you
get
have.
sick or something. I think if there was too much going on that close to your eyes.
Yeah, they said that was the main limiting factor was motion sickness.
Yeah,
and,
that's where I got a little worried.
Discomfort.
Yeah.
Because also, it's like wearing that thing on your face. It kind of hurts your nose a little bit.
Yeah.
It starts hurting your ears and your head. And
I'd assume it would just be all around kind of awful
They
after a while.
if they can make it into glasses, then that might catch on.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
We're not quite there yet.
Well, I don't know. I saw something. It's expensive, really, right now, but it's basically like glasses like we're wearing, but it's got kind of like a translucent LCD screen in it. So you basically have a computer monitor or some kind of heads-up display, and it'll tell you like the weather, or the time, or whatever. And
smart glasses.
Yeah, and it can also like then like facial recognition, and it'll tell you, oh, that's Gerald Rodriguez, and blah blah blah, or stuff like that. And then the thing that I think I would probably use it for the most is like watching videos. You can like watch a movie just in your glasses.
Instead of sitting there looking down at
and
your
then
phone.
If you got like Bluetooth headphones in or whatever, you're just like sitting there and nobody can see.
That would be cool, especially when you're like in a waiting room or something, waiting on the doctor or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't know. For the price of it, like to like be able to discreetly watch a video in a waiting room, it's like,
is it really worth all that?
Watch my cell phone, I guess.
That's just the thing these days is all these game systems and everything are just so expensive. Like you can buy a big, what is it, like a 65-inch TV for like $400 or $500.
Yeah.
But then
a PS5 still costs what?
There's something like that.
I don't know.
And I hear that they actually pay more like $1,000 to make the unit, and then only charge.
Selling them at a loss.
They sell them at a loss. Did you hear about that?
No, but I believe it because they make so much money on the subscription.
That's what it is. Is they said that they sacrifice the price of they're let's say paying $1,000 per unit, and then you're selling it to you for $600. They lost $400 on that, but now you have to buy all the games, like you said, subscriptions to different stuff, like. If it's Xbox Live, I don't even know what they call PlayStations.
Yeah, dude, I paid probably like less than $200 for my Xbox, but I've already paid more than that for like 4, 5 years, 6 years of subscribing to Gold.
Same here.
So they get you.
Oh yeah, they're not giving away stuff for free and losing out.
Yeah.
They're gonna get it somewhere else. And then games are so expensive. Even without the disc, you still pay the same price.
Oh, dude,
you pay $60 for a game with the on disc, and you pay $60 on the online store as well. So it's like you're not.
Yeah, there's no way to save money. You have to wait for a sale or a deal, maybe.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, dude. I can't tell you the last time I bought a brand new game. Like
Me either.
I mean, it's been like decade, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, and now with like Xbox Gold and things like that, you can, or the Game Pass is what it's called. I think the one where you can play free games all month, but you pay a little extra.
That Xbox Game Pass is honestly probably one of the best deals in like entertainment right now.
Yeah.
It's expensive, but the like stuff you get for it is like pretty incredible. It's like
it is.
All the brand new titles, basically, like there's maybe a couple that you don't get, but basically all the big ones that everyone wants, plus like almost every single back catalog game you can think of. Like there's very few games that aren't part of the Game Pass. So
and they have cloud gaming on there now too.
Yeah, and it makes like Gold. You get like you used to get
3 or 4
games. Free games to download per month. Now you only get 2.
Yeah,
but you can download them and keep them forever supposedly. And
so that's the difference.
Part of your account, but like your hard drive can only hold so much.
That's true.
And so,
well, that's why I like the cloud gaming. That's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
You don't have to download anything. You just play it on the cloud, and then the only thing though about that is like you could be in the middle of a game and it'll just shut off on you.
Hey, what happened?
If you lose lose internet service or whatever, not completely lose it, but if you don't have it going fast enough speeds to run it.
Yeah.
But it's still kind of cool. I was doing that for a good while, but lately I've just been too busy to do much of the game, so I've been doing like these little weird kid games, kind of like Fall Guys and stuff like that, just to kind of, because I could play it for 15, 20 minutes and move on with my day.
Jump in, then jump out,
Yeah.
I remember back in the day, like 4-player games, like 4 people in the same room. That was like the most fun.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
Playing like racing game, or it doesn't really matter anything, but if you were playing with your friends and you were all there, those were the best. And I feel like that's kind of rare these days.
It is. Everything's one-on-one these days. I was looking, for Christmas to buy games, and almost every game is a one-player game, and they're just, you play online with other people, like Fortnite, for example.
Yeah.
All these different games like that. So, yeah, it kind of excludes you. Like, they don't sell like many games where you can actually play in the same room with 3 other people.
Yeah.
And actually have fun that way. That's why I really like the games I can find that way, because I mean, it's not very often you get to see that anymore.
And also, you got the older systems. I've got a GameCube. And I think an old PlayStation, and so keeping those is worth it, I think, because a lot of those older ones have more multiplayer games. But
and that's not a new thing at all. Like the OG Nintendo, you know, the very first Nintendo, even had a 4-player hookup.
Yeah,
everything was all separate with that. I used to have everything. I remember when I was young, I was a Nintendo fanatic. I had Robbie the Robot, if you guys remember that guy.
Yeah.
It wasn't worth the shit, but it's probably worth a lot of money now if you have one.
Oh, yeah.
But that thing used to suck. It was just like you just plugged it in and it just played against you pretty much, but you could have done that without it.
Did you have that glove thing?
I did, and that thing was a piece of shit too. The power glove. Yeah. That thing was awful.
You suck!
And they made it look so cool and all these back in the day.
So cool.
It looked real cool.
Like the coolest thing ever.
That shit was hard as hell. And it didn't register a lot of the stuff that you wanted it to do, you know.
Yeah.
Not like the Wii does, you know. They finally got that technology working the way they needed to.
The thing I was always surprised that worked pretty good was the duck hunting, gun thing. I was like, how does this even work?
Well, I found out now it only works with tube TVs.
Oh, because it get that color back feed.
I don't know exactly how the technology works, but I tried to hook up duck hunt on my smart TV the other day. So if you ever try to do that, probably not many people have tried to do that because they're not as old as I am, but you know. It doesn't work though. Yeah, it doesn't register. It'll feel when you click it, obviously, to shoot, but it'll miss the duck every time or whatever.
Man.
So you have to have an old tube TV. So I don't even know if you can even play that anymore because there's not very many tube TVs these days.
I've got one. I'm saving. It's got the built-in VCR and DVD player.
Probably good to keep those things because technology like that you'll never get to play again unless you have a specific screen for it, which is crazy. You know, that's why they weed out all these old technologies by making stuff that doesn't connect with it, and then you just give up on it, and just it ends up in the closet forever.
I know. Lately I've been really missing the days when. Well, I mean, it's really not even in my lifetime, but when you could buy one pair of pants and it would last you for 30 years. You know,
everything used to be built to last. Yeah,
everything just breaks immediately. I'm like, this just feels like I'm surrounded by trash.
That's why they make it like that, though. So you have to. You know, buy new phones or whatever the case is. Yeah. You have to go buy a new one every single year. That's the way they keep their business going, you know. But yeah, I do miss those days, you know. I mean, the kids these days will never get to even know that about, you know, waiting until Friday every week to go and get the brand new movie release that came out. Go to Blockbuster or movie gallery stores. Or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I miss movie stores.
Yeah, I just miss it was something to look forward to, you know. Now you get everything right at
on your screen.
Yeah, at the touch of a finger, you have everything in front of you. It kind of takes away all the glitz and glamour of it all, you know, because you're not even impressed anymore. You're kind of like, whatever. I can watch out whenever I want, you know.
Yeah, well, and you never have to leave your house or where, you know what I mean, or your bubble. It's all just spoon fed to you, shoved in your face, I guess.
Exactly, and then it made it even harder, you know, that people stopped going to the theater and stuff, so they started making to where you could watch it at home now. You know, and they charge you $30 to rent it for a night or whatever, but you get to stay in the comfort of your own home. That kind of sucks too, because you know that's another thing you look forward to is when a brand new movie comes out in the theater. You kind of want to be there to see it, you know, live.
Yeah.
And
and then there's some incentive to go to the movies, and it's a reason to go out and be with other people.
Just to get out a little bit.
I don't know, but
we're all trapped in our own.
I think being able to watch movies at home is cool and good, but I what was wrong with just waiting a month like they used to until you release it on video? I guess they do that a lot still, but
they're just trying to do away with DVDs.
Yeah, most of the time it comes out at the same time on Paramount or Hulu or Netflix as it does in the theaters, and then it's like, well, am I gonna go spend $20 at the movie theater or just sit here at home?
That's what they kind of figure too. They figure, if you have a whole family, let's say there's 5 of you, that's $10 a piece for just to get in.
That's true.
And then popcorn and all that crap is ridiculous. It's I mean, it's always been ridiculous over the years, but I mean, really ridiculous now. I went to the theater not too long ago, and popcorn's $10 now for a thing, or a soda. They don't even give you a damn fountain drink anymore. Now it's a straight up just a 20-ounce soda for $7. Dude, what the hell? This is why we sneak shit in here.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, well, yeah, but it's pretty easy these days to set up a cool home theater, and you got your projector, I've got a projector. We don't use them very much, but it's fun to set them up and
it is kind of fun,
watch a movie like that. at home or wherever. I don't know. There's like when I went to go see Top Gun, there's nothing like seeing Top Gun in, Dolby digital surround sound with the jet engine like blaring in your ears and the seat is kind of rumbling and like because of the bass. And like the screen is like way bigger than you could ever get in your backyard or your house or whatever. So I think that's kind of still worth it, at least for some movies.
I think so too, because unless you're like a millionaire and have your own badass, badass movie theater, you're not going to get that.
Compare, yeah. But like then again, there's lots of movies that come out that I just like do not care. I don't care if I see them at home, but let alone in the theater. Like I don't know, I can't even think of movies right now. But like, I feel like it's got to be kind of a spectacle to be worth it to go to the theater.
It's kind of They don't really make these big blockbuster movies like that anymore. All the ones that they make now are more like they put more into the script than they do graphics.
Yeah, but the script still sucks.
Yeah, and then the script still sucks. To be honest with you, I haven't seen a movie in the trailers that I even want to see. The last few months, A
couple, but I can't even think of them off the top of my head. There was a Nicolas Cage Western coming out soon, or maybe it's already out.
Nicolas Cage has been doing a lot of movies.
Yeah, and most of them are pretty good. Man, and I need to catch up on those too, because I want. There's that fake, like the one where he plays himself. That was supposed to be really good.
All his movies are definitely interesting. If they're not good, they're at least interesting.
Someone was saying like he's either a really good bad actor or a really bad good actor.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think he's a really...
He does have a few movies that I really, really like, but...
I think he's a really good actor who just does some really weird stuff.
He just takes whatever he can grab, I think. Whatever they hand him, he takes it.
Yeah.
And I've been watching just nothing but old series. You know what I've actually been doing is I've been watching a bunch of that 70s show, trying to catch up to it, because I never actually watched the last like season or two. So
I've heard the remake or the sequel or whatever is pretty good.
That's why I'm kind of watching these, because I want to watch it. It's called the 90s show.
Yeah.
That 90s show.
Yeah.
And it still has all the original characters. They even still have, Red and Kitty in there.
But he died, didn't he?
No.
Really?
No, they're still both alive. They're just really old, Well, at least he is.
I could have sworn that the actor who played Fez died, but he's still alive.
No, he's still alive too.
I don't know where I'm getting all this weird false information. Probably that AI.
It's that AI crap is giving you all that. It's the damn
people are dead who are still alive, and
it's the what do they call that? The Mandela effect, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
They're trying to Mandela effect you on some dumb shit.
I'm in some alternate universe. Get me out of here.
I remember when I was a kid, they used to say the, now they say man.
I heard with that Justin Roiland thing, he also got fired by the game company that he started.
Oh yeah. So speaking of that, in case you haven't heard about this, Justin, is it Roiland? Is that how you say his last name?
Yeah.
Creator of Rick and Morty, or co-creator at least.
Yeah.
And the voices of all the characters.
Rick and Morty.
Yeah, he plays Rick and Morty. Well, anyway, the Adult Swim decided to let him go because I guess he got into a domestic violence situation with his wife or whatever, his girlfriend.
That or some kind of sexual...
Something to that. If it's something with domestic dispute. Anyway, they decided to let him go, and then so did, the actual show. Rick and Morty let him go, and they're going to replace his voice with somebody else, I guess, supposedly.
For, every voice on the show.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Well, I mean, it's not ridiculous to, he got in trouble for whatever he did, but it's just ridiculous to, just end the show.
Yeah.
Just end it.
Kind of like doing the Cosby Show without Cosby,
Yeah.
Is this something different?
They did that with Roseanne for a while, too, and then they called Roseanne it the Connors afterwards because they had to get rid of her.
Yeah, it's just why?
Yeah, it's just ridiculous.
I don't know.
There's certain shows that they did that with. I guess that's the other thing about that that 90s show is that they don't have Hyde in it, which is Danny Masterson.
Yeah, I'm not saying that those people shouldn't be fired. But you should kill their character in the show, like in
the Ranch,
that 90s show.
Oh, and
they just don't talk about him, or they.
I don't know yet, but that's what I'm hearing, that he's either killed off or they just don't mention him. Period.
Mention him, yeah. Which, it's fine. I feel like
that would make more sense.
Works perfectly fine.
Yeah, when he was on the ranch, they had to kill him off.
He was only one character too, and he wasn't the main character.
Exactly, he was just a side character.
But with Rick and Morty, Justin Roiland is Rick and he's Morty.
Yeah.
And so, like, you have to fire him. Yes, I agree. But then
Just end the show.
Why even continue?
I don't even know why they would continue it anyway, because they have a bunch of other shows they can do still.
Yeah, and they can spin off like a million Rick and Morty shows if they want to keep that property alive.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
It's just craziness how they make these decisions like
maybe
that.
Maybe they'll find like Justin Roiland impersonators, and they'll get some people that can really like do the voices.
Yeah, I think it's very possible. They've done that with other shows. Disney used to do that a lot, actually, back in the day. Did you know that the genie from Aladdin was played by Robin Williams
originally?
Well, when he signed on for that, he said the only way I'll do this is if you don't make merchandise and stuff out of this. Like, if you just make the movie and that's it. Like, I don't want to be signing off on merchandise or any other crap, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I don't want to do it, so that's, like, in my agreement. So they made a contract saying that, they wouldn't make him do any of that stuff. Well, but right away, after the movie has success, they right away start pumping out all the stuff,
I remember all kinds of toys from Aladdin.
Oh, yeah. They totally reneged on that deal real quick.
Dude, the coolest one was Jafar's staff.
Yeah.
Did you ever see that? Or one of my friends had that. It had the eyes that glowed red. That
they had a bunch of cool stuff. The video game too. They have.
Yeah,
But anyway, he didn't want any of that stuff. So when they did that, he pulled away. He said, "Well, I'm not doing a sequel. Yeah. Now you done messed up.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be involved in this franchise anymore." And so they had to do the same thing. And guess who they get to play the genie after that?
Who was it? I
it's
remember
the guy.
The movie, but
it's the guy that plays Homer Simpson. Which is Harry Shearer, right?
Yeah.
Is it Harry Shearer?
I didn't know it was that guy. That's
yeah.
hilarious.
So if you go back and watch, I think it's part 2 and part 3 of the Aladdin and the series that they had for a while.
Yeah.
Like, it's all, go back and listen. You could hear Homer in the playing the voice, but he actually plays him pretty good. Like, you barely, if you didn't know ahead of time, you probably wouldn't even have noticed.
Well, yeah. I mean, I always knew it wasn't Robin Williams, but he does a like decent. It's like great value. Robin Williams.
Exactly. So
Close enough.
Exactly. So that I think they'll do the same thing maybe with Rick and Morty and find somebody who can play his voice. I don't know. He has a very distinctive voice, though. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
We'll see.
And he ad-libbed so much of that.
That's right, too. Is he was just a lot of that was off the top of the head. Well, peace out.
Oh well,
Justin.
Who cares? Who cares now?
My new catchphrase is, I don't give a fuck!
Who cares now? It's over. I even stopped watching Rick and Morty anyway for a while there.
Yeah,
it was already starting to get a little.
I don't give a fuck what you think, Jerry.
Every show after a while it gets a little bit tiring,
Well, especially since they kind of like had a bunch of big story arcs that they kind of like wrapped up over and over again, and then it just kind of felt like
reaching for straws at this point.
Whatever, but I don't know. There's so many series. Like, have you watched the new Steve Martin show? That's one that we finished the first
one with
season.
like Selena Gomez and all that?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet, but I've been hearing good things about it.
It's pretty good. It's
called like Murder in like
Only Murders in the Building.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty good. Like, the acting's pretty good. Selena Gomez is like my least favorite character.
She's never really been that great of a actress, to be honest.
Well, there's other things I've seen her in that she's good in, but that show she's like kind of an unpleasant character too.
Oh.
And it's like you just don't like her. But Steve Martin's great, and Martin Short is really good.
Yeah, they actually really do good together.
But it's kind of a slow show. It kind of like takes a while to get into. But we finally finished. Took us like 6 months or something. But we finally finished the first season, and that was pretty good. I've heard the second season's good too. So.
Yeah, that's what I hear a lot of stuff about. I've been trying to catch up on some of these new shows.
I gotta go. There's so many shows I can. But Eastbound and Down, I gotta go back and watch
those
that.
are great.
I gotta watch that other comedy show that same guy's in.
Is it Righteous Gemstones?
Yeah, Righteous Gemstones.
That's a pretty good one. I like that one.
Yeah,
pretty funny.
I've heard that gets even better as the seasons go on.
I'm on like season 2 now, I think, or maybe I finished season 2. I can't remember where I'm at, but
yeah,
I'm almost caught up.
Yeah, that one I told my parents about it, even though I've never seen it still, and they started watching it, and like halfway through the first season, my mom was like, "I hate this show. It's so bad." And then she finished the season, and she was like, "It's probably the best show, really long time I've seen."
It does start kind of slow, It's like one of those shows you have to give it 2 or 3 episodes before you really start getting into it, because it kind of like there's a lot of characters in it, so it takes a while to get them all out.
Yeah,
but it's pretty good afterward. There's a bunch of good actors in it.
There's like 3 Yellowstone things now, right?
Yeah, there's like God, I can't remember the names of them, but yeah, we talked about them in the last show, and I haven't seen them yet. Well, I've been talking to Andrew McCallister, who's the music director at KRZA and also the host of Today's History on KRZA. We've been here chatting about a bunch of different things, music, his experience as a pilot, the Today's History show, of course, and we were talking about video games and movies and series, all that fun stuff. So thank you so much, man, for coming today. It's always nice to sit down and chat with you anyway.
Yeah, thanks, G. Appreciate it. I'll be listening for future episodes.
Nice. Well, if you want to check out Today's History, it's on Monday through Friday on KRZA, and it's usually at 9:01 or 9:06 to about 9:11 or so. It's about 5 minutes or so. So you can catch it every day, and you can listen to that on KRZA.org. Or if you live, between Alamosa, Colorado, and Taos, New Mexico, you can catch on 88.7 FM. If not, the TuneIn app too. There's a bunch of different ways you can check it out. So thank you again, man.
Thanks.
For Word, I'm G-Stylez. Peace out. Till next time. Hey, yeah. Word. Wanna hear it, wanna talk about it. Word. Wanna hear it, wanna talk about it. Know it's all about the Word. You know it's Word.